Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Burns Reviews, and today we are talking about the new Hilary Swank movie, Fatale. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more videos just like this. Give us a thumbs up, it really helps the channel a lot. And without any further ado, let's talk about the new Fatal Attraction movie, Fatale. After a one-night stand, a successful married man finds himself entangled in a cunning police detective's latest investigation. So yeah, it's very much Black Fatal Attraction, but it's not good. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with the positives. The positives, Hilary Swank, always amazing. Always. Like, she's rarely not good. Even going all the way back to like when she was in Boys Don't Cry or Insomnia, Hilary Swank is always delivered. No matter what you give her, she will step up to the plate and actually turn in some half-decent, more than half-decent performances that I've always enjoyed. All I could figure is that she must have thought, you know what? This could be like my Get Out. It'll be like a small picture, a smaller indie independent film, something like that. You know, it could be like the big blow-up movie that people don't see coming. Maybe she thought it was like a really smart script. And I gotta give her credit for her acting. She does the best that she can do with the script that she was given. I can see the writer just being like, oh my god, you know, I feel so bad. Hilary Swank deserves so much better than this. Michael Ealy was also pretty good. It's just that his character was kind of poorly written. And since he's kind of, you know, essentially the main protagonist and you spend the most amount of time with him, it's kind of a glaring notion that he's just not a character that you can enjoy his performance in because the bad writing. One more pro. In the middle of the movie, it was pretty compelling. I want to say, towards the end of Act 2, there were some twists and turns in this movie that actually got me going, how the hell is he gonna get out of this? So it almost felt like they wrote this movie based on, they had an idea for like the middle of the movie, which was kind of smart and clever and interesting, and then they just kind of figured out the bookends later. So let's talk about what's bad about this movie, and that's a lot. I knew from the opening of this movie, when they had a narration from the protagonist, that it was not going to be a good movie. You have Michael Ealy driving his car. You know, the opening narration goes like this, right? He's driving his car, and he's like, I've always been the winner of everything. I've always had my eye on the ball. And now, everything's going to change. Fatale. And I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Yeah, you know, this movie is just, it held my attention, but it felt like a Lifetime movie. It just seemed so incredibly average. This feels like a script that would land on Liam Neeson's table, because it just feels so incredibly bland and lifeless. And the beginning especially just did not resonate or emote anything that had any semblance of a high production film. It seemed like one thing I noticed is a scene where Michael Ealy is talking to his wife, and when they show Michael Ealy, you know, he's doing like his performance, when they do the B shot, you know, when they do coverage for the wife's character, Michael Ealy's head doesn't move, which is so odd. So they keep cutting back between takes. And Michael Ealy, when they show his face, he's kind of like, well, listen, babe, I just think that we should talk about our relationship and stuff like that. But then when they cut to the B shot and they show her, his head is just flat. And it doesn't move. And it's like, it's very jarring. And it kind of took me out of the movie immediately. A lot of the side characters are pretty awful too. They're not well written. The acting does not elevate with the actors the way that, what's her face? Hilary Swank does. It's just a bad movie, guys. Yeah. It is kind of like a guilty pleasure because it does have some like over-the-topness that makes you kind of laugh. So I can't say it's a terrible movie. It's just not overly original. It's very much Fatal Attraction, or what was that movie that came out a couple years ago? Obsessed? It just feels like one of those movies. It feels like one of those very dramatic, Tyler Perry type of dramas that are just over the top, run of the mill. You know, I feel like they make 20 movies like this a year, and nobody watches them because they're not very good. And this one is kind of like the outlier in that they got Hilary Swank to be in it, So it's like, alright, well we got like a little credibility with Hilary Swank, and we got Michael Ealy, and we got Mike Colter, Luke Cage, we got him in there. So you got some name recognition. But, I mean, who's the director? The director is Deon Taylor, who did, you know, Meet the Blacks with Mike Epps, and Black and Blue. Was that any good? I didn't see Black and Blue, but I remember the trailer for it. So yeah, I think it's just poorly executed. I think it's poorly written, poorly directed. It felt kind of cheap. I did read like the press kit, and I saw that when they made it, it took a lot of effort to make this movie. You know, it wasn't easy to make. It took a lot of strings to be pulled, and they had to really do their best. You know, they had some budgetary constraints. They had a lot of red tape along the way, so I can appreciate the effort. And sometimes when you get a lot of pushback, you know, I can understand sometimes you lose some quality along the way. You know, you can't always do what you want if your movie is constantly being twisted around on you. I get that, you know? But that doesn't change the fact that this is not a great movie. I did enjoy it in parts, but man, the more I think about it, the less I actually like it. But there is some value to it, so I'm not gonna completely dismiss it. It just felt like a very unoriginal idea, and it didn't bring anything new to the table. So I'm gonna give Fatale a C. If you like Hilary Swank or Michael Ealy, yeah, I think it's worth a one-time rental watch. It's coming to video on demand on January 8th. My recommendation personally is that I would check it out in VOD. You know, I think right now I wouldn't be rushing to, personally, where I live, I wouldn't be rushing to the movie theaters anyway. But even if it was like a regular year, this is a rental. This is very much a rental. It's just, you know, unless you love Hilary Swank and you want to see her really do some interesting stuff. I thought she was great in The Hunt, which came out earlier last year, and I was really hoping that this was going to be like a continuation of like the Swankissance, if you will. But it just didn't quite deliver on what I was hoping to get. Anyway guys, those are my thoughts about Fatale. It's a good rental. I enjoyed the third act for like how over the top crazy it is. There's one scene that I like where Hilary Swank just pulls the shotgun out of nowhere and just starts plugging away. I don't want to tell you more than that, but like it's just so over the top where you're just like, all right. But yeah, there's a lot with this movie that just feels lazy and uninspired. So I'm gonna stick with my C. Anyway guys, what did you think of Fatale? Did you check it out? Are you gonna go check it out? Be sure to comment down below. We're gonna have a lot more videos coming out soon, so if you want videos just like this, be sure to subscribe, ring that bell, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And as always guys, I've been John, you've been Burned. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very safe holiday, and I will see you next time.